Hello, and welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we're talking about trusting yourself, or learning to trust yourself. Hey Janine.
Hey Shannon, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking about how fun it is to never know what we're going to talk about before we sit down to talk. I mean, I feel like the spontaneity and the sort of unplanned part of this makes it, the recording of it anyway, a whole lot of fun. I hope it makes the listening of it fun too.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that. I like sort of the challenge of coming up with something. Although, you know, we've also gone the other way, and it's been really nice to open up our podcast recording note and of topics and say, oh, we've planned an episode. Today we're talking about whatever. And it's like, oh, that's great.
That's true. But even then, we don't know exactly what we're going to say. You know,
right.
All we need is a topic, and it's fun to see how it goes. But I like the idea of this topic of learning to trust yourself.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what we're doing when we're not planning so much, is trusting ourselves.
Well, good point. You'd think that was planned, that I brought it up because of that link, but it was not. I didn't even make that association. That's right. We trust that we can have a 15 to 30-minute conversation that's relatively meaningful without having to plan it all out in advance.
Yeah. And, you know, some of that comes from having done this as many times as we've done it, because this is episode 198?
Yep.
Because, you know, we did do more planning to begin with, or we thought we needed to do more planning
right.
to begin with, and we quickly let that go by the wayside.
Because it wasn't necessary.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's excellent. So why don't you tell the listeners how we came up with this topic?
Well, we were having a very serious conversation and realized that both of us were running up against this issue where we weren't trusting ourselves in the playing of Wordle every day.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think this week we each had situations where the correct word, you know, the answer came to mind, and we second guessed ourselves, put something else down, and it was wrong. Luckily, we had enough guesses left to finish the puzzle. But
right, yeah, that happened to me twice this week, and it was annoying.
Well, and just in case there's anyone listening who is not familiar with Wordle, who is not on social media and hasn't seen grids of green, yellow, and gray blocks showing up, it's a word game where you have 6 tries to guess a 5-letter word. And when you get a letter that's in the word but in the wrong spot, it shows up as yellow. When you get a letter that's correct and in the right spot, it's green. And then when you use a letter that's not in it, it's gray. So
nice explanation.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah. I thought you were waiting and trying to figure out how to tell me that I explained it very poorly, and that made no sense at all.
Oh, yeah. I don't think...
You hesitated.
Oh, I was just trying to think what the right compliment was. That's all.
Oh.
So it's remarkably enjoyable, and also there's only one a day, so it's not time consuming. And I start my day doing the Wordle puzzle, and then I always send my result to you because you're hopefully asleep when I'm doing it, since
Yes.
you're 2 hours behind me. And then sometimes it sparks conversation, Wordle-related conversation. So I'll put a link to it in the New York Times bought it, so it's available on the New York Times website, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes in case there's somebody out there who's interested, who doesn't know how to find it. Of course, just Google would do it too.
Right. But it's an interesting exercise in sort of trusting your intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And also, and Wordle, if you do trust your intuition, there's a good likelihood you'll be wrong. Right? Yeah. So the stakes are real low. But so since you mentioned, we need to trust ourselves more, I've been trying to do that. And I still keep getting 5, but whatever.
Yeah. By 5, she means getting it in 5 tries.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is not stellar.
No, but you're getting it and you still have 1 try left. So it's not the worst possible scenario.
That's right. Yes.
But it's interesting how many times, I mean, this is sort of what prompted the discussion, but then I think of all the times that I sort of talk myself out of something or overthink it. Mm-hmm. And so often, my first instinct, whatever comes to mind, is right or definitely good enough.
Mm-hmm. Right. You find yourself, you have an instinct, then you talk, you second guess it, talk yourself through it, and then do you sometimes end up back at that initial instinct, going with it after you put yourself through that?
Apparently not in Wordle, but I think I do that in the rest of my life.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And it's funny because, it's like there's a little bit of strategy to your guesses with the game. And I think that's how I end up sort of second guessing myself, is thinking, trying to think about it strategically as opposed to, just taking a good guess.
Mm-hmm. And then working with the results.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a nice little brain boost, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in real life, I think, in non-world life, I think I find myself, when I second guess myself, I often go back to that initial thought. And if I, would just trust my initial thoughts, I'd probably save myself some time.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking about, is like it gives, it sort of brings up that definition of perfectionism that we've used before, is when and I'm probably not going to get this quite the way that whoever the man was that said it, that you told us about, but that you put more time into something than it deserves, than it merits.
Right. That's exactly the right way he said it. And his name is Harold Taylor.
Harold Taylor.
Yeah.
But so I think about that, if you go with your first instinct, then you're definitely not putting more time into something than it deserves. And you still have probably a good chance of having made a good choice.
Exactly. Probably better chance than not.
Right.
Better than 50% chance that you're making a good choice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll sometimes use the muscle testing finger things that you taught me. We've talked about, I think, on the website. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I use that a lot, actually. And it's also a nice time saver. But, it's usually for things like, what should I order off a menu?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that generally to pick between things. Like, I don't know. And then just pick one.
Right.
But
right.
I feel like that muscle testing sort of brings in my unconscious awareness into the discussion.
Which is part of trusting yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah. And do we need to explain this, or I could just provide a link, figure out where we talked about it before and provide a link to that?
Yeah, because I think last time we talked about it, we found a good link to...
oh, perfect.
Yeah, so people can understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. Great.
And just to be clear on the muscle testing thing, I think that's really what it is it's I don't think it's a way to sort of intuit information from the universe. I think it's a way to tap into your knowledge, your unconscious knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's coming from within, which is excellent. Yeah. And that's it. And that's what we're doing when we're trusting ourselves. We're, I guess, first step is noticing that we have an instinct to do something or decide something. And then after that, pay attention to it. I mean, sometimes we don't even notice, maybe.
Yeah. It's interesting. I have noticed after a number of head injuries that when I try to think about something, like try to remember something on purpose, it's nearly impossible. But if I just let it come to me, it's easy and doesn't take any energy or effort. And it's usually, what I'm looking for. It's the information I'm looking for.
Oh, that's so interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's true of people who have had fewer head injuries, too. I think we probably all have had head injuries, but I think, when you're trying to come up with a word or you're trying to remember the thing you're about to say to somebody, and they'll always say, oh, it'll come to you, and then you move on to something else. It always comes to you, or usually. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing this is making me think about is the idea that when you're trying to make a decision, the more you try to convince yourself, like sort of the more reasons you come up with to go for something, like it's like you're trying to convince yourself, then the less likely that's probably the thing that you want to do.
Right.
I'm not sure I said that very clearly, but
if you have to work hard to convince yourself that something is right, then it's probably not right.
Well, but even I think when you're doing it, it doesn't feel like that. Mm. It's like, oh, I should do this for X, Y, and Z. And also, that would kind of help with this other thing. And then maybe it would also be good if I did it for this reason. Like that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And that's a good indicator. Like the more reasons you try to give yourself that it's a good decision, the less likely it's the decision that either you really want to make or the one that will work best for you.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm going to have to start noticing that because I can't think of an experience. I can't relate to that, but I'm sure I've done it many times.
Yeah, I think about it. It comes up a lot for me in terms of, well, back when I used to do in-person things like, going to a retreat or an in-person event or something like that. And I'd be like, oh, I should do this because, this person's going to be there and they're going to talk about that thing. And it might help me do this other thing, when really that first gut reaction, like, oh, I really want to do this, even if I don't know why, is a far better reason to do it than me spending a lot of time, even if it feels really positive, coming up with reasons why it makes sense.
Oh, that's interesting. And that's another time saver.
Yeah.
I'm all about productivity.
Yeah, I think I might have written a blog post about that some years ago. So I'll look for that and see if I, in fact, did do that.
Excellent.
Yeah. But I think there's that, we know more than we often give ourselves credit for.
Yes. Ooh, that's a very nice way to put it. We know more than we give ourselves credit for. We don't give ourselves enough credit all the time, it seems like. So,
right.
Yeah, in general. And then when it applies to trusting yourself, just trust that you got this.
Well, and I think the other thing about trusting yourself is that, and you mentioned this at the beginning, is that, you're still not always going to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to figure it out and then get it wrong.
Right. Or spend a lot of time trying to figure it out and then not do anything because you couldn't trust yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
With any answer.
With any of it. Yeah. Yeah. That perfectionism paralysis that happens is real, isn't it?
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I also think of this as a practice that, like I said in the intro, we're learning to trust ourselves, and so that means you're practicing and just noticing like, oh, this answer came to me right away, and I'm curious. I wonder what will happen if I go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And to make it, more from a place of curiosity as opposed to a place of trying to be right and wrong.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. That's a very nice way to approach many things, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. To, be like a nice, warm, curious person as opposed to, sitting in judgment of, well, did you get that right or did you get that wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about things as instead of results of providing information.
Ooh, yeah.
And then the other thing that just popped into my head is knowing that, and Wordle is great for this, at least for 6 times, you can always choose again.
Right. Till it's guess number 6. That's right.
But in real life, you can keep choosing until you land on what you wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So we would love to hear from you, our listeners. How easy is it for you to trust yourself? You can let us know on Instagram and Facebook at Getting to Good Enough. You can head over to Twitter at GTG Enough. You can leave a comment in the show notes at gettingtogoodenough.com, or leave us a voicemail at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. Until next time, this is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. Dude, I didn't flub up the social media this time.
Oh, that's right. And I forgot to even notice. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was so exciting.